Welcome to the Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order? Is possibly one of the most famous Nickelodeon lines of the 90s.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
In this fast food franchise war, we have a goofy take on current corporate America versus family-friendly service. This includes Mondo Burger, a stylized mecca of a burger joint with all bravado but no class. And then Good Burger, a 50s style diner with loads of integrity and a working family unit of employees. Not to mention happy customers. Good Burger is hilarious, surreal, and full of ridiculous charm.
Strawberry jacuzzi!
Possibly one of the best fast food movies in existence.
They sound similar.
And in the story, we have some characters who are undeniably good and others who are pure evil. But the question is, which ones are righteous and which ones are going into the grinder?
But you mess with Kurt and you go in the grinder.
Stick around and find out, dudes. I'm Kyle with WickedBinge. And I'm a dude, and he's a dude, and she's a dude, and we're all dudes. And this is Good Burger, Good to Evil.
She's a dick, cause we're all dudes.
Starting out with the most good, we have Ed. You know him, you love him. He's the kind-hearted, klutzy goofball cashier who works at Good Burger.
I am reporting your name to the manager.
The manager already knows my name.
Ed is such a nice person that he helps Dexter get a job at Good Burger after he was fired at Mondo Burger and needed money to pay Mr. Wheat for damaging his car.
$1,900? I don't have $1,900.
Ed also gives Dexter a special type of yo-yo he had as a kid as a token of their friendship, showing that despite not being very bright, he still listens to his friend and cares enough to get such a sentimental gift. How sweet is that? He seems to be able to understand a dog who barks at him about needing to help some clowns who are having car trouble.
There's 4 clowns stuck somewhere and the car broke down.
And he would have helped the clowns if it wasn't for Dexter telling him the dog was just hungry instead. Poor clowns.
Where is that dang dog?
Ed also helps Dexter get a date with Monique, making Ed quite the matchmaker. Ed is nice to everyone, even his enemies.
Nice to meet you, Mondo idiot. I'm Ed.
But when push comes to shove, Ed helps to stop Mondo Burger from poisoning Good Burger's customers with shark poison, as well as stops Mondo Burger from tainting their meat with an illegal chemical. To save the day, Ed purposely dumps the canisters of illegal formula into Mondo Burger's burger machine to make it explode. And he realizes that he could have been caught by Kurt or his henchmen, or the police may not have believed him. What a hero.
You stole an empty can? It wasn't empty when I found it.
Ed sees the good in every situation and always has a positive attitude, and we love him for it. This is probably best showcased when he creates a dance party in a mental institution called Demented Hills. He befriends one of the mental patients who is strong enough to break the windows, so Ed, Otis, and Dexter can make their daring escape. And during their escape, they steal an ice cream truck, and Ed is so delighted about the ice cream that he starts offering ice cream to his friends.
I got Funky Pops, Monster Sickles, and Lemon Juice Pops.
We love you, Ed. Don't ever change. Moving on, we have Otis. He is so old that he can barely cook fries without using an oxygen mask.
I should have died years ago.
Despite his ailment, he still tries hard to be a good person and cares about people around him. He was the one to witness Kurt Boswell and his Mondo Burger cronies putting shark poison into Ed's secret sauce.
I'm calling the cops.
Otis tried to stop them, but unfortunately was overpowered and thrown into Demented Hills Asylum with Ed and Dexter. Otis told Dexter and Ed about the poison, and that set in motion the escape from the asylum, and they went to warn Good Burger's customers.
Hey, what are you doing?
Stealing your truck.
Which, let's be real, is pretty impressive for an old-timer like him. I mean, look at him jump out that window.
You think you can get me to a hospital? I think I broke my ass.
Otis is definitely a hero.
I need a hot jacuzzi.
Just below Otis is Monique, one of the Good Burger employees who becomes the romantic interest of Dexter. Monique clearly has a good moral compass because she calls out Dexter on his scamming of Ed.
You take most of his money, the money he's supposed to get for his sauce?
No.
She scolds Dexter for using his gullibility to steal most of his money. She even tells Dexter he's a bad friend.
You're not his friend. You're just using him to scam a little cash on the side.
Despite all that, Monique doesn't rat on Dexter because she cares about Ed's feelings. It would hurt Ed a lot if he found out that his best friend was using him for money, although she probably should have revealed the truth to him at some point. That said, Monique has a lot of empathy for people, including her coworkers. Now, we have to throw in Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq's a good guy in Good Burger because when Dexter and Ed give him the burger that he ordered, he gives Good Burger a good review, saying that the burger is delicious.
Very good.
Plus, since he's playing himself, we can probably base his morality on the real-life Shaq, who, let's be honest, seems like a real good dude. For another quick mention, we're gonna throw in Dede.
Oh, poor cows.
Definitely a minor character, we only know so much about her, but she seems like a positive person who has her own set of convictions, although it does seem a bit odd for a vegetarian to work at a burger joint.
That means she doesn't eat fur.
I won't wear fur. I don't eat meat.
But who are we to judge? Moving on to Demented Hills Asylum, up next is Heather.
I'm a psychopath.
Heather is a patient and kind of falls in love with Ed when Ed gives her a compliment about her cute head.
What's cute about me?
Your head?
How sweet. But she is in an asylum for a reason, right? She claims that space aliens landed in her brain and told her to free some kangaroos from the zoo.
Have small space aliens ever landed in your brain and told you to break into the zoo and free the kangaroos?
Despite causing anarchy, she does help Ed, Otis, and Dexter escape the asylum, and that's a pretty nice thing to do. Next, we have the groovy man with the fro, Mr. Wheat. Mr. Wheat dresses like a guy stuck in the 1960s. So for young children watching in the 90s, he's ancient, a caricature trapped in the past. He's nostalgic, which means he longs for simpler times, and yet he supports Mondo Burger instead of Good Burger.
I'm gonna have lunch at Mondo Burger, home with the big booty burger.
Good Burger represents fast food service of the past, yet he supports Mondo Burger, which is all new and ahead of the times with its flashy interface and authoritarian principles. Kinda hypocritical. He also hands out an exam on the last day of school before summer vacation. Who the heck does that? The thing is though, a lot of bad things happen to him in this movie, and honestly, you can't help but feel sorry for him, especially when you rewatch from an adult perspective. Mr. Wheat's car gets totaled by Dexter, who's totally in the wrong, and let's be real, Mr. Wheat was probably looking forward to his summer just as much as him. What a way to start your vacation.
I didn't think I was gonna run into you this summer. I didn't think you was gonna run into me.
And then it gets totaled again by Mondo Burger's burger decoration.
Why?
His mailbox gets destroyed twice by Dexter and Ed, and then again by two Demented Hills employees. This guy just cannot catch a break. Despite supporting Mondo Burger, giving his students an exam on the last day of school, and having an outdated fashion sense, I still maintain that this guy isn't too bad.
The fro, the boots, and his jacket.
Moving on, we get to our second main character, Dexter Reed. Now, the truth is, Dexter evolves quite a bit throughout the movie. He starts off as a self-centered and obnoxious person. He's also manipulative, not to mention dangerous behind the wheel of his mom's car.
No, it's my mom. She's away on business in New York.
He has no regard for traffic safety and puts other people in danger when he accidentally crashes into Mr. Wheat's car. He reveals to Mr. Wheat that he's driving without a license or insurance.
You don't have a driver's license?
No.
I know you don't have no insurance, D.
How reckless is that? Then he gets a job at Good Burger and steals money from Ed after Ed helped him get a job.
Maybe we should sign a little contract.
I mean, in all honesty, that's really scummy. It's an awful thing to do to someone as sweet as Ed.
Well, here you go, Ed. You get to keep $13.
But despite all of his faults, he does manage to grow throughout the movie, mainly because of his friendship with Ed. When he's called out on his misdeeds, he truly reflects on the person he is and decides to make amends.
How can you take advantage of a sweet person like Ed? And after he got you a job?
Then, he does the right thing and helps Ed save Good Burger.
Whoa, look at this fancy kitchen.
Really, he goes from a pretty awful person to a hero of sorts, which balances him out somewhere in the middle. But since he did the right thing in the end, and showcased some true heroism, we're gonna keep him on the good side. Up next, we have Mr. Bailey, the owner and manager of Good Burger.
All right, everybody. Now don't get all excitable.
For a man who gets annoyed by Ed's antics, can you really feel sorry for him? He has hired a crew of friendly misfits, including Otis, who is so old that he could keel over and die at any minute.
How much longer could he possibly live?
Not to mention Ed, who isn't the brightest bulb in the box.
People love us. Most of us.
Then there's Spatch, who doesn't talk at all and only grunts. The fact that he lets them work at Good Burger is probably worthy of some praise. I mean, there's no way that Mondo Burger would allow any of these misfits work at their business. But then again, Mondo Burger also wouldn't serve their mom cat food like he says.
Oh, I suppose I can always feed my mother cat food.
Moving on to Spatch. There's a lot of weird things going on in this movie, and Spatch is definitely one of them.
Spatch isn't much of a people person.
Spatch is a mystery. He works at Good Burger as a fry cook, but his cleanliness standards are poor. For example, he killed a fly with a spatula and ate the fly. Then he licked the spatula clean. He also doesn't talk and seems a little unhinged. Honestly, I think Spatch might have once been a patient at Demented Hills Asylum. But regardless of whether he escaped from the loony bin, the way he prepares food is far from sanitary and crosses into unethical territory. Up next, we have one of Dexter's friends, Jake. Dexter gives Jake a ride home from high school and is present when Dexter runs his car into Mr. Wheat's car.
Hey man, you lucky. My folks is making me get a summer job.
Jake is put in harm's way, but the way he deals with a bad situation is to flee the scene. He's potentially an accessory to a car wreck, but he bolts. Even if he weren't responsible, he totally ditched his friend. What a coward. Okay, our final two. Our silver medal of evil goes to Roxanne. Roxanne is Kurt's spy, and her job is to find out what Ed puts into his secret sauce. Her plan is to romance Ed by asking him out on a date.
You and I should go out together tomorrow night.
Ed agrees and convinces Monique and Dexter to go on a double date. During the date, they go to a putt-putt golf course, and every time Roxanne asks Ed what he puts in his sauce, he deflects the question with slapstick. Roxanne's plan to woo Ed backfires, and she ends up horribly injured. It's a good thing she fails in her mission, otherwise Good Burger would be out of business. And then she tells Kurt that she quits.
I quit!
Sayonara, sweetheart. You got what you deserved. Now, I'm sure it's no surprise, but our gold medal of most evil character in Good Burger goes to Kurt Boswell.
I'm Kurt. I'm Ed. I'm aware. You said you were Kurt.
Kurt is the owner and manager of Mondo Burger, and he will stop at nothing to make his food chain the #1 restaurant in the world.
Make our burgers bigger.
Bigger, but they're already bigger. Bigger.
He's mean and has an authoritarian grip on his employees. In fact, working at Mondo Burger seems like some dystopian 1984 sci-fi setting. Possibly the worst boss in the world, you can tell a lot about Kurt from this one quote that he utters to his employees. From now on, your life is Mondo Burger. You can forget about your friends, you can forget about your family, because Kurt is now both your mother and your father.
Kurt must look awfully strange naked.
He's definitely trying to brainwash his crew. He runs Mondo Burger like the Soviet Union. And what is this grinder that he keeps talking about? It sounds like a genuinely violent threat. Maybe it is a literal grinder.
You mess with Kurt and you go into the grinder.
It seems like Kurt's influence has a wide reach. How many people are in his pockets? He's basically the puppet master and has 2 doctors from the asylum on the payroll just in case somebody catches them doing illegal things like putting shark poison in Ed's secret sauce, or putting illegal chemicals in Mondo Burger's food so that the burgers will grow.
But I tell you what, sure makes burgers nicer than normal.
He has spies, and who knows how many other evildoers on his payroll. And how does he get access to shark poison and illegal chemicals?
It's gonna make all your little Good Burger customers very sick.
The fact that he's putting those things in food to serve to customers makes him terribly evil. And going back to the Demented Hills Asylum, if they're really in Kurt's pockets, then that raises another question. Did anybody else in Demented Hills get wrongfully locked up because they witnessed one of Kurt's evil business practices?
Get our pal Wade on the phone.
Demented Hills.
How many of them have a mental illness and are there for a reason, and how many are just normal citizens? My guess is there's quite a few innocent people in there and are unfortunately victims of collateral damage. One thing's for certain, Kurt is evil, and he belongs in the grinder.
Will you mess with Good Burger? You know it, the grinder!
And that's our ranking. Disagree with us? Let us know in the comments. Remember to hit that notification bell and binge our Good to Evil playlist, where we break down the morality spectrum of your favorite cartoons and movies. But most importantly, stay wicked.